Hello and welcome. You're watching ET Now with me, Ruchi Bhatia. As always, we at ET Now are focusing on the Prime Minister's clarion call of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Over the next 30 minutes, we will be talking to the doer of the Modi government, the roads and highways, as well as the MSME Minister Nitin Gadkari in conversation with us at ET Now. Sir, appreciate you taking your time with us here at ET Now and speaking with us here. The Prime Minister has given a call for self-reliant Bharat, for an Atmanirbhar Bharat. As the Minister for Roads and Highways and MSMEs, your task is cut out. MSMEs contribute as much as 30% or one-third to India's GDP. I want to understand from you, what is your prescription for making sure that India becomes Atmanirbhar?
Actually, MSME contributes 30% growth, the GDP growth, out of which 30% contribution from MSME. We have 48% export of India is from MSME. At the same time, up till now, MSME create 11 crore jobs. The most important thing is that is related with the village industry. The turnover of village industry or up to the end of March, that comes to 88,000 crore. Actually, the Prime Minister's dream is to make India super economic power, and the mission which is already given to all of us to make India 5 trillion economy and 100 lakh crores of infrastructure. So the MSME's role is very important. Actually, in Indian economy, now it is the most historical and remarkable decision taken by the government under the leadership of Prime Minister, that is changing the definition of MSME. Actually, from last 15 years, there was discussion related with the change of definition, but nothing is going to happen at that time. Today, there was two classification, manufacturing sector and service enterprises. But now we merge it as a one, manufacturing and services. It's one head. In the micro industry, the criteria was investment in plant and machinery or equipment. That is investment. The investment was 25 lakhs. Now in the new definition for micro industry, we have taken it as 1 crore, 4 times more. Regarding turnover, it was 10 lakh. Now we have taken it 5 crore. In the small, investment was 5 crore. We take it 10 crore. And turnover as 2 crore, taken it 50 crore. The most important thing is related with the medium industries, where the investment was 10 crore. Now we have taken new definition is 50 crore. And turnover to 5 crore, it comes to 250 crore. And export is excluded. This is the most important thing related with the Indian economy. Now the majority industry will get the advantage of MSME. Either all type of facility will be available for them. And that is the most important thing. So it is going to benefit it. Now actually the mission behind the Prime Minister's argument is, we have to make India free from, particularly the unemployment is a big problem. And whatever the poverty we are facing, it is because of unemployment. To create employment potential in 115 aspirant districts, agriculture, rural, tribal, village industry, and by which we can, their contribution in GDP and growth rate, per capita income, 100% we need to increase. Without that, Indian economy cannot go ahead.
Right. Sir, I do understand the point that you're making, talking about the whole host of steps that have been taken to ensure that our MSMEs are, more self-reliant. Having said that, how will you ensure that the MSMEs are self-reliant and we don't really isolate our MSMEs? There has been a tremendous pressure to ensure that Indian MSMEs also come up to speed. But the concern really here is that our MSMEs are not that deeply entrenched in the global supply chain. So how will you ensure that Indian MSMEs also become a part of the global supply chain?
Actually, already MSME contributes 28%. 48% of the export of our country out of which it is 48% export is from MSME. And I'm giving you assurance, within 2 years, there will be more than 60% export from MSME. And the way in which we are planning, we are facing tough period. I am accepting that. But sometimes it is blessing in disguise. And because now it's an opportunity for the MSME for upgradation of technology. At the same time, we are giving special scheme of 50,000 crore. So that MSME now they will go up for stock exchange for capital, and where government is going to support MSME, those who have good track record in export, in bank turnover, in income tax, and in GST. By simplification, by methodology, we can give them rating. On the basis of that, we have already appointed an independent, impartial, and fair committee who can give permission for them, and so government will contribute. MSME department will contribute up to 15 crore rupees of equity, and by that, when they go to capital market.
Right.
Now, I am telling you a small thing. I have a discussion with the investor in Dubai, and also one of the financial company arranged one of the discussion with the American investor in USA. And it's both things which I really appreciate the attitude and approach of the investor. Now, in a present world situation, they are keenly interested to invest in India, and this gateway of MSME is open for them. So we will get foreign investment in MSME. We will get foreign investment in banks as well as NBFCs, and also in infrastructure, road, railway, aviation, shipping, ports, and power, and which is going to increase the liquidity in the market, going to helpful for making industry to more export. And that is exactly the way of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Right. You're saying that we will be attracting more investments from other nations, but it seems that we want to put a halt or some sort of a full stop on investments coming in from China. How will you ensure that that happens? Because I want to understand from you, how will the checks and balances be maintained in areas such as MSMEs as well as the highway sector as well, sir? You have recently said that with respect to investments coming in from China, India will be watching out for them very, very closely.
Actually, to be frank and fair, the Indian industry, Indian infrastructure is not depending upon the Chinese investment. Majority of the investment which we are getting, that is from the whole world, and that countries are known. Actually, frankly speaking, today, whole world, economic point of view, they don't want to deal with China. And there is a blessing in disguise to Indian industry to get more export orders. I'm giving you a small example of PP kit. Once upon a time, 2 months before, we have taken a special flight of PP kit from China to Delhi because we have shortage of PP kit. Today, our MSME industry is manufacturing PP kit 5 lakhs per day, more than that. And now today the Commerce Ministry, the Finance Ministry is giving permission to our manufacturer to export. Now I just get the information that our MSME small peoples are now exporting their PP kit to the different part of the world. And it is where exactly that the way that of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Once upon a time we were importing kits from China, and now we are exporting PPE kit to the whole world. This is exactly the feeling of Prime Minister, and this is exactly the people who are expected from MSME.
Absolutely, but how will our countries at this point of time ensure that we don't turn protectionist? Because a lot is being talked about that we will impose some sort of tariff barriers, and currently the Indian industry is heavily dependent on imports coming in from other nations. So how will we ensure that our own industries' interests do not get hurt at this point of time? For example, just look at some of the imports that we are currently getting from China. Much of it is also stuck at various ports due to the customs department halting these shipments. Because we want to take a very tough stance with China, we have put our own industry in jeopardy. So how will we ensure, sir, that protectionism does not harm our own industry?
Actually, to be very clear, but if you take the example of, for example, I give an example of PP kit. Now you can take the example of casting industry, particularly automobile spare parts. Now, Indian situation, we have got availability of all type of technology, and our people are fully competent. India has got the full engineered talent, which is already here in India. Now it is the time for Indian industry and Indian major industry to encourage Indian small scale industries, MSMEs, for their complete requirement. And now I'm giving you example of agarbatti sticks. Now we increase the 30% duty on agarbatti sticks. Now Khadi Gramodyog is going to launch a special scheme for giving special machinery to the small people for making of agarbatti sticks. And at least I am confident that within 2-3 months, there will be employment potential we are going to create for 25 to 30 lakhs ladies and gents people. They will get the employment. This is exactly we are expecting. That there is no rocket science. The things which we are importing from China, it is already India has got the ability for that. Probably for the starting time, there may be rate may be because of the volume is more important. There may be some rise in the rate. It may be. But after that, when they will standardize their production and increase the productivity, ultimately it is going to get with a reasonable rate. And now it is the time for Indian major industry that everything which we are importing from China, we need to find out the way out. We need to upgrade the technology. We need to reduce the cost. We have to make without compromise with the quality. It is the time for and a challenge for an Indian industry to manufacture all this type of items in India. That is exactly the feeling of the government. And we are ready to support them. We will facilitate them and we will give them all types of support in that Make in India, Made in India mission.
Absolutely, sir. We at ET now, since we're talking about increasing India's own self-reliance, yesterday we did speak to Niti Aayog CEO Amitabh Kant in a conversation with ET now, said that the government will ensure that they will handhold the entrepreneurs, they will handhold the small industries at this point of time, but do not expect subsidies. When you are saying that the Indian government will do whatever it takes to support our industries, what kind of steps are we really talking about to ensure that Indian industry also becomes globally competitive?
Actually, Indian industry, I am giving an example of automobile industry. The present turnover of automobile industry is 4,50,000 crore. This is an industry which is creating maximum employment potential in India. And now the export of automobile industry is 1,45,000 crore. Do you know that presently our all automobile industry, starting from electric bikes to even going up to the car, trucks, buses, where we have a good export. I'm giving an example. It's a really a great thing and I'm really appreciate the thing. The Bajaj scooter and TVS scooter, both are exporting 50% of their production. So this is really which we are expecting from the automobile industry. So the one industry is now, the automobile industry also, is going to create more ancillaries in India. And I am now requesting all the major industry of automobile industry, don't depend upon China. It is the time for Indian economy and Indian industry to upgrade the technology. And now only the first problem for the premium level is that after getting good volume, the ancillary can reduce the cost. So meanwhile, they need to give them reasonable price. After establishment, complete establishment, and by regularize the production, if the volume is increased, 100%, they are all in position to give all type of automobile parts, spare parts with a reasonable price. And not only in India, we will be in position to export this from India to abroad. So this is exactly we are expecting. This is possible. India has got the talented engineer and skilled power, and we have got all type of technology. And even for technology point of view, somewhere we can make joint venture with the good technology which are available in the world. We can make the joint venture and we can make it here. Even for the industry, we can get a low-cost capital investment through FDI. That can be possible.
Right.
So I feel that now this is a golden opportunity, and Indian industry should take the advantage of it.
So you were talking about the auto sector. You speak to them very, closely. You're working with the auto sector on the scrappage policy as well. Pawan Goenka, Mahindra and Mahindra's, boss, also said that for the auto sector to be self-reliant, the OEMs and tier one suppliers will have to pledge to ensure that the components and the tooling imports are reduced to almost half in the next 3 years. I want to understand from you, because you deal with the sector very closely, you talk to them on key policy matters. Is that really possible? And if yes, then what kind of a policy support will be provided to the auto component manufacturers? A lot of them also come under MSMEs.
You are absolutely correct. Actually, it is one of the negative point with me. From last 2 years, I am constantly pursuing for scrapping policy. But we have to take a lot of approval from the different department and the state government. So, to be frankly speaking, that policy was delayed. But now, on whatever the situation is, that we have decided to launch this policy, we are in the final stage. The problem is that because of this COVID-19, I am in Nagpur, and our secretary has already prepared all the draft is there. Only after going to Delhi, I am going to clear it, and we are going to declare it. So by this scrapping policy, there will be availability of raw material, copper, aluminium, plastic, steel, and rubber. And recycling will be possible through industrial clusters, and by which we can reduce the cost. That Mr. Pawan Goenka is telling is absolutely correct. And this can be a great achievement for Indian side, Indian economy, and we want to make it as early as possible. And that is going to help and support to automobile industry to reduce their cost. Even they don't need to import them. So definitely as early as possible, we will take the decision. And this is going to boost our automobile industry, definitely going to increase their production, and it will be a great advantage for the industry, and it will be a great advantage for our export also.
So you were talking about making the Indian industry more cost competitive, but that many experts believe will not happen until and unless the government bites the bullet on critical reforms like land and labor. How will we ensure that we increase our cost competitiveness, and how will we ensure that we turn this, for us to turn this this crisis into an opportunity, we bite the bullet on these critical reforms as well, so that people who are interested in moving out of their companies from China, their manufacturing facilities from China, India rolls the red carpet for them?
Actually, majority state government now, they are ready to accept labor reform. Not for their existing industry, but the new industry, new investment which is coming to the state. They are ready for that. And these are laws are not against the labor. And therefore, it can be a strength for attracting the foreign investment in the country. At the same time, the most important thing is related with the industry is the foreign investment also will get it from that. And the second thing is, which I feel that India has got the huge market. The big population is the big strength for India. And that is the reason that the majority investors, they want to come to India, because the skilled manpower is our strength. Already our doctors, our software engineers doing excellent work in the whole world. And that is the reputation of Indian people. And that is the reason that because of they are now interested to come to India. Regarding technology, we can make joint venture. That is not the problem. Suppose if we don't have the technology, we can make it. Now I'm talking about electric cars. You take an example of it. Electric bike. Already our Indian companies already launched electric bikes,
Right.
electric scooters.
Right.
They are in the market. So I feel that everything is possible. Indian business and Indian engineering ability is very high. I feel that we have got the manpower, we have got, and regarding land, I am giving you the example. Now we are making 22 Green Express Highway. And the basic reason,
Right.
which is the secret of success story of China, is making industrial clusters. One city is only working in furniture. One is working only in LED light and allied product. So the way in which now Delhi-Mumbai Express Highway, where the land acquisition cost is very reasonable. Now, NHI has taken a decision by where we will acquire the land and we will develop the industrial cluster, smart city and smart villages. And the land cost is very reasonable. Now, it is from the backward and tribal area of Haryana, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Compared with the alignment from Delhi, Ahmedabad towards Mumbai, the land acquisition cost was expecting 3 crore rupees per acre. And now it comes to 20 lakhs rupees per acre. So I am ready to give offer the land for industrial cluster. MSME is with me and the NHI is with me. So this type of now total attitude, approach and vision of the state government is also changed. Now we are going towards creating land bank and the land will be available, land will not be a problem. Labor law, already there is reform. And as per the World Bank ranking in ease of business, our number is already increased. Still we are taking lot of reform. So I feel that it can be possible. It cannot be a problem for foreign investor to come to take investment in India.
Sir, you recently said that your ministry will keep Chinese players out from new highway projects, even for investments in MSMEs. Chinese investments will not be entertained. Let me play the devil's advocate here. China has spread its tentacles very far and wide in terms of investments in other countries as well. How will you ensure in terms of checks and balances that Chinese investments are specifically kept at bay?
Actually, in the infrastructure, you know the success story. The NHI is the most important successful story of India. We have got the largest highway network in the world now. And now our economic viability project to project is concerned is good. So today we are concentrating on getting FDI. Now the 100% FDI is allowed in the infrastructure. So now we are dealing with BRICS Bank, ADB, World Bank, Pension Fund, Insurance Fund. Already some of the proposals are on the final stage. And we are now making new innovative models, not only BOT, PPP, but different type of models we are going to the market and we are getting good response from the world investor. So today we have received a lot of offers. We are in the process and I am very much confident that we will get foreign investment with low cost. Now this can be possible in MSME also. Just I am giving the example of my video conference with the investor in America. That conference was organized by Philip Capital. And the second conference, there was video conference with the investor in Dubai. In the both conferences, what I observed, that majority investors are now keenly interested. Even in economic situation in the whole world, now India is the safest destiny and getting maximum returns of their investment is India. And they are keenly interested to invest in India. We are opening now MSME by stock exchange. They are foreign investment, they can invest in MSME, they can invest in NBFC, they can invest in banks, they can invest in infrastructure on different now BPP and BOT basis. We are now going to open all the sectors for them. Really, I feel that it can be opportunity for them. And I feel that we will get very, very good response from all type of investment in infrastructure and MSME.
Barring China, is that so?
Regarding China, we have taken a decision. Actually, now I also suggest our secretary to formulate the policy. What is the problem? From our side, there is a problem. For example, the big bridges we are now making on Ganga, tunnels are making. Now, the first time we are making tunnel of Jojila of 8,000 crore. So no one Indian contractor is capable. That's the reason now the problem is that from last 4 years, I am constantly observing this, that Indian company doing 100% work. Only for the sake of getting pre-qualification for them, they are making joint venture. So now we have decided, and already our secretary is working on that you increase the financial ability, financial qualifications and technical qualification of Indian contractors. For every tender, at least we should get 10 to 12 people who can be qualified. So we are now relaxing that terms and conditions. On the basis of that, there will be no problem for Indian contractor. And I feel that was actually from last 2 years, I am trying for that. So our people are fully competent. They can make bridges, tunnels, roads. They have got all type of good machinery. And we should give them, now I will take an example. Suppose a building construction. Suppose the contractor who is qualified making of
Right.
5 floor, 100% he is qualified for making 80 floor. But our terminology was wrong. We always ask him that whether you construct 80 floor
Right.
or not. There is no building sanction for 80 floor in India, in the city. That's the reason that he is not in position to construct that. And because of that, he need to take the
Alright.
partner from the China. So now we have already this type of the whatever the problems in that technical and financial disqualification already removed.
Relax
We will
the
make
norms.
Indian contractor qualified for that, and we don't need Indian contractor don't need any type of technical and at the same time financial help from China. We are in position to conclude it, to complete the project, and we will make strengthen more Indian contractor for that purpose, and that can be possible.
Sir, do you foresee that, with us trying to keep China out, there will not be any sort of a funding crunch in terms of our infrastructure sector?
I feel that there will be no problem. Actually, you just check the record. We don't have any big investment in infrastructure from China. Actually, because of our technical and financial pre-qualification, there was a lot of Chinese company, they are coming with the joint venture with it. But now we have prohibited that. It is open, and we are at the same time, we are liberalize and dilute our norms by which Indian contractor will be technically and financially qualified for the big projects. So there will be no problem.
All right, so easier norms coming in for Indian infrastructure companies so that we are able to keep Chinese investments out and be more Atmanirbhar and self-reliant. But on that note, Mr. Minister, many thanks for taking your time out and speaking to us at ET Now. That was the Roads and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari in conversation with us at ET Now.
Thank you. Namaskar.